when I think about Chaplain Parham and his legacy, I think of something Barack Obama once said, which was, change will not come
if we wait for some other person, or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for.
We're the change that we seek. And it was Chaplain Parham that brought this change to the Navy as a whole and to the Chaplain Corps.
Well, good day, everyone. I am Chaplain Kerry Cash, the commanding officer of the Naval Chaplaincy School here in Newport, Rhode Island. And today you'll be learning about Captain Thomas David Parham, the first African-American to rise to the rank of captain in our Navy, and we are proud to say, a chaplain. Chaplain Parham joined the Navy in 1944, the same year the Golden 13 received their commissions. And when he joined, he was just the second African-American to become a chaplain in the Navy, Chaplain James Russell Brown being the first. Over the course of a 37-year career, he was not only a pioneer in breaking down racial barriers, but he made our Navy and our Navy's leaders better men and better women. May all of us endeavor to walk worthy of Chaplain Thomas Parham's example. I hope you enjoy learning about his life and his legacy. Thank you.
When he entered the Navy, it was a tough time for him, but he didn't allow that to be a stumbling block for him. All the inequities, like can't sleep in the barracks, stuff like that, could eat at the same table. Those are the kind of issues that he was dealing with. And he didn't mind sharing that with him. As a matter of fact, when he tells the story, he tells it in a way as if he's saying, I got through it, it didn't bother me, I knew how to handle it.
But I never heard him say that life was unfair or an injustice had been perpetrated or anything like that. In fact, he was very, very affirming. There was a magnanimity in the way he related to people.
He addressed people and treated them with respect, and because he treated them with respect, they treated him with respect, and that's why he was able to convince people to change.
I have a feeling that his humility was disarming. He was just a humble, quiet man. He loved his God, he loved his family, I believe he loved this country.
He was such an impeccable leader. You know, he did everything with authenticity. There was nothing fake about Chaplain Parham. It was just the way he did everything that he did. It was with such integrity, with such love and compassion that we knew we were being cared for just in the working environment that we were in.
When we were around him, considered him the smartest person in the room. And when I say that, I mean, even if CNO was in the room, even if John O'Connor, who was the chief of chaplains for a good little while in my early days, if he were in the room, it didn't matter. It seemed as if Chaplain Parham was the gold standard.
He had a calm, professional demeanor, and was challenging yet comforting in a special manner. He was unassuming yet self-assured and assuring. He knew how to take charge. He knew how to cultivate others and inspire them to want to improve themselves. He was respected by the Chaplain Corps leadership. He spoke to authority and power, and that's what he did with Chaplain O'Connor. He was able to interact with Chaplain O'Connor and other Chaplain Corps flags. In the Old Testament, there were a number of prophets who spoke to power, but you have to do it in a way where you can be heard, and that's what he did.
Before I met Chaplain Parham, the first time I had seen him was on a recruiting brochure. And it was really different because I had never seen a person that looked like me on the recruiting brochures that I had seen from the Navy. And it was like, is that a real chaplain or is that a model? And I found out later it was a real chaplain, and his name was David Parham.
Chaplain Parham was persistent. He was heavily involved in the minority officer and recruiting effort, which was called the MORE program. This program was designed to recruit minorities and to increase the number of minority officers. And that's really why he came to recruit me, because his objective at that time was to get around the country and to spend time concentrating on letting minorities know about the Chaplain Corps, because a lot of people did not know about it.
I think that the Navy probably had the least laudatory record when it came to race relations. I mean, it was considered by many a Southern white man social club.
There is an account where there was some debate on whether or not the Navy should open an ROTC at a historically black college. The argument against it was that they didn't want to bring African-American people on board as naval officers from a so-called inferior school because they would already be behind the power curve. What's interesting is that Chaplain Parham's response was, well, okay, I'm the product of an 11-grade school system. I'm the product of an unaccredited seminary. And here I am, a Navy captain.
Amen. 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 Amen.
Self-advocacy says that whatever you've been assigned to do, whatever your calling, that you believe that you have the capacity to succeed. And I think in the legacy of Chaplain Parham, he wanted to make sure that whoever was recruited as a Navy chaplain, that when we step on the ground, boots on the ground, hit the deck running, you are able to succeed by the help of God.
He was instrumental in establishing the Black Chaplain Workshop. Don't know if you heard about that, but the Black Chaplain Workshop was a sort of an outgrowth of a situation that the Navy was dealing with. The Navy was trying to figure out how best to get their arms around the issue.
Admiral Zumwalt came in and talked about the fact that when he first became an admiral, he was one of the assignment officers, a detailer, and he was given an unwritten understanding that he was to assist in assigning African American chaplains on the most austere career tracks. So there was a very high attrition rate among African Americans. Chaplain Parham realized was that something needed to be done. And he probably did not know what was going on behind the scenes, but he worked to improve retention of the chaplains who were being recruited. And as a result of that, we started having these Black chaplain conferences. And to be together and see 15 or 20 African Americans, people who look like you, to see 06s who were Black, to have some of the best speakers come in to talk with us and encourage us, to receive guidance and counseling about how to be more competitive. No one would have told us what you needed on an evaluation, on a fitness report. That was, classified, you might as well say, but these folk who had accomplished the seemingly impossible, they were able to tell you, what was needed to be competitive.
I see why Chaplain Parham, Dr. Parham, was so effective, because, again, it didn't matter to him that he got the credit. What mattered to him was that there be progress.
I'm excited, and I believe God has something mighty to do, not only for our Corps, but the story is still being written. And I just believe that God is going to do something mighty, and I'm glad the Navy decided to tell the story.
Chaplain Parham was at peace and at home with his own skin.
During the riots period, the Chaplain Parham was on a ship. Some African Americans came and they wanted to take the ship over and wanted Chaplain Parham to be the captain of the ship. And Chaplain Parham said, let me think about that for a minute. He said, now where we're going to get fuel from, or where we're going to get replenishment from, all that kind of thing. And he convinced those sailors who wanted to take over the ship at that time that there was another way to deal with things. And that's where Chaplain Parham was excellent at, being able to convince people and to show them a better way. And that's what pastoral care is all about.
He was not selected the first time he was in zone. I mean, there was enough racial prejudice, I would say, that Parham was not selected the first time he was passed over. But others who came behind him were selected when they came into zone because of what he demonstrated was possible.
He didn't just talk the talk as we hear. He walked the walk that went with the talk that he had. So he lived everything that he preached, that he talked about, that he mentored in us. He lived it, and we learned to live it as chaplains.
He was a force of nature, and he gave me, as an African American, a sense of pride, and it was very affirming. If I could describe how most of us felt about him, it was as if we had received a gift from God.